Hey there, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Just wanted to share this encouragement with you tonight. We're going to take a little break from the Last Supper and we're going to take a detour through First John chapter 3. And the reason for that is our pastor has asked me to prepare this Sunday's sermon. And as he's going through the book of First John, this is where he landed. This section is just absolutely beautiful, and I'm excited to be able to share it in the sermon and to share it with you tonight. This section, chapter 3 of First John, gives us a beautiful truth that we can be called children of God. It says, "Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed on us, that we should be called children of God." Imagine that. The God who created the universe, who created everything in it, is willing and he loves to call us his children, right? It gives us a beautiful truth that we can be called children of God. Now I want you to see this and see this picture. This being a children of God is really being a part of the family of God, right? And this being a part of the family of God, being born of God into his family, it's called many things in the Bible. It's called being born of the Spirit, being born of God, being a child of God, not walking in the flesh. And it means a whole lot more than just cleaning up the person that we were when we started going to church. It's the start of a whole new life that's directed not by our appetites and our desires. It's a life directed by God. It's a life where we look more and more like God. We look more and more like Jesus. It's a life where we see more holiness in our walk. We see more holiness and we see less and less sin. We see more love and we see less hatred. Now, the thing is, I want you to see here that this is what John's talking about. He's talking about life in the family of God. And I want you to understand that God wants us to have that life. God wants us to have that life, but it's not a life that we can produce ourselves. It's not a life that we, through our might, is going to produce. In our flesh, we can't. It's a life that God wants to give us, and it's a life that he will produce if we surrender ourselves to him daily. Now, I want you to picture this image, the image of a child, right? A child of God. It's a simple image, right? I want you to imagine parents with a baby. The parent says, "What parent does she look like? What parent does she look like, do you think? Whose eyes are those, right? Whose eyes are those? I think that she's got her daddy's nose, right? I think that she's got her mama's mouth." And with our Christian walk, I want to ask, who do we look like? Who are we looking like in our walk? What parent do we look like? And I'll just give you a hint. There's just two options in the Bible. We can either be a child of God or a child of Satan. And if things like sin and hatred are running rampant in our lives, I think we need to be questioning our parentage. And that's John's point here. Now, I said before that this isn't about cleaning ourselves up. It's not about making us a little better than when we started going to church. It's acknowledging that we are filthy. We've been wallowing in the mud and we need our daddy to clean us up. We need to go to him and say, "God, I am messed up fully and I need you to help me." He will. It's daily abiding with God as children of God that causes us to be transformed into the image and the children of God, right? I'll say it again. It's daily abiding with God as children of God that causes us to be transformed more and more into the image of God. And that is the theme of chapter 3 in 1 John. Now, when we look at the entire chapter, verses 1 through 3 give us the truth that we are children of God. Verses 4 through 10 tell us that as children of God, we should practice righteousness and not sin as a continuing habit. And verses 11 through 24 tells us that as children of God, we should love. And that's my section for today. Just in summary, it says, "In this, the children of God and the children of the devil are manifest. Whoever does not practice righteousness is not of God, nor is he who does not love his brother." That's what John says in 1 John 3:10. So seriously, folks, let's love our brother and let's run away from sin. Let's be conformed more and more into the image of God.